Hey everybody, this is Nine with the B-side. I'm here with Maysa Daw, and she is a musician from Palestine and from Haifa, correct? And we're going to talk a little bit about all kinds of stuff, music production and perceptions, and talk about the show. How did it go at WOMAD?
I was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it. It was amazing energy. The crowd was so beautiful. I really enjoyed every moment of it.
Was it the first time you've ever been to this festival as an artist?
Yeah, to WOMAD as an artist, as anything. It's my first time in WOMAD. I did a few other festivals and shows in the UK, but WOMAD is definitely special, and I'm really happy to be here for the first time.
Yeah, it's my first time too. It's pretty
really?
brilliant.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yesterday I think I melted, but
yeah. It's crazy, and I come from the Middle East, and for me, like, this was way too much. The weather was crazy.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona, and it's like 110, 115 degrees in the summer, but not that kind of humidity yesterday.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about what it's like to be a Palestinian and a Palestinian musician, because I think that the perception of Palestine is so skewed in one way or another about what can be done, what is going on, and the Palestinian people in general. I don't think we get a clear picture of what it's like. So tell me, without having to give me thousands of years of history, what it's like to be a performer and to try to speak your word and music in Palestine.
It's actually a very complicated thing, being a musician, a Palestinian musician. First of all, I want to say, we have amazing musicians in Palestine, really, so many very different genres, very different everything, and the musicians are really amazing, but we are really missing the basic structure of the music industry. So we don't have any booking agencies, we don't have any labels, we don't have any management, we don't have anything basically. And even for the crowd that is coming, especially, we have a huge wedding music industry, and we have a huge traditional music industry. But whatever we are doing, can call it alternative type of music. So even for the crowd, it's still very new. So even with the crowd, it sometimes can be, we're still testing what is going on, and a lot of new festivals has been going on, and a lot of right now we're reaching. I want to say that I have three main bands that I'm in. And
you do a hip-hop band too, right?
Yeah. So I'm with them, which is the first Palestinian hip-hop crew, the first hip-hop crew to sing in Arabic in the Middle East. And they started in 1999, but I joined them. I started singing with them in 2012, I think, but I officially joined the band in 2016. And we just released our album a month ago.
And give us the name of that band.
Dam, the name of the band. On Instagram or social media, it's Dam Official Band. And the name of the album is Ben Hana wa Mana, which is between Hana and Mana. And which is really interesting. I would love to talk about that as well. But other than Dam, I do my own solo project, which I performed here with my band, with Isa and Shadi. And I do another project, which is a combination between Palestinian, Swiss, and Dominican Republic musicians, 4 female musicians, which is really cool. We just started in October, and it's a really very interested.
And what's the name of that group?
Kellimi. Yes. Which in Arabic translates to speak to. When you're talking to a woman, so you tell her Kellimi or Kellimini, speak to me, or Kellimi is talk to, speak to. And so the album name of Dam's album is Ben Hana wa Mana, and which is a very known Arabic saying in Arabic. So this story, it's a short story which talks about a man that marries 2 women. One of them is young and one of them is older. And whenever he goes to the younger wife, she plucks out his white beard hair so he doesn't look too old. And then when he goes to the older woman, she plucks out his black beard hair so he doesn't look too young. So at the end, trying to satisfy both sides, both women, he ends up without a beard.
Which is not good, right?
Which is not good. You want to satisfy everybody, but at the end you end up with nothing. And I think this name really talks a lot about the industry, about the music, about being a musician. When you're trying to do mainstream, but then you lose your like hip hop, like hardcore hip hop kind of audience, or when you're just tired of doing politics, so you just want to do a fun song, but they attack you from there. And it's just like trying to not be too political, because then the Israeli government can like be on our heads, and not being too, it's just like trying to find the balance of being able to do what we want to do, to write the music that we want to write, to talk about the subjects that we want to talk about, but at the same time not get beaten in the head from like politicians from every direction, politicians or religions or everything. It can basically come really from everywhere. And
do you get a lot of criticism from traditionalists or I'm from Arizona, so from machismo, the big manly sort of attitudes, does that come into play where you're
definitely, and it's really interesting, because for me, trying to figure out how this works, actually being a Palestinian musician, how it works and what is everything that is around that, it's been a really interesting trip on a personal level for me, because at the same time I realized what I am. I was invited to shows, more than one shows, but I was invited to a show in the United States, which is like crazy, a 16 hours flight. And I get there, and when I get there, I realized that the people there have no idea who I am. The people that invited me, they have no idea who I am. They have no idea what's the music that I do. They have no idea that I have an album out, nothing. They basically know nothing. They just know that I'm an Arab woman, Palestinian musician. And then it starts hitting you like, okay, am I a musician, or am I just a female musician, or am I a geographical talent, or what am I? Because me personally, as Maysa, I started doing music way before I realized anything in this world, way before I knew what politics is, way before I knew what gender inequality is, way before everything. And to be able to grow into that and to try and figure it out without losing your mind, it's been really interesting, because I think for me, it's sort of a privilege actually to be able to experience such a thing, because I can really say that on a personal level, this made me realize so many things about myself, so many things about how I can handle whatever is happening in my life and whatever is happening in my career. And I think it's really important, but on the bright side, I can definitely say that in the past few years, the music industry in Palestine has been growing really, really big.
How does it work for like recording or just getting instruments and stuff like that? Because from what we see in the news, it's like you can't even get concrete to build things. You can't get medical supplies. Is that the reality for all of Palestine?
Definitely not. And I think like you would know that whatever is in the media is not really what is happening in the real life. Like for me, I'm Palestinian, but I live inside the Israeli borders. I have an Israeli ID, and that reality there is way different than the reality in the West Bank, and that reality there is way different than the reality that is in Gaza. But still, in all these places, you can get instruments, you can get amazing musicians, very talented musicians, you can get everything. And of course, it's harder from place to place. Of course, there's a lot of factors around it, but I can definitely reassure you that whatever people see on TV, a part of it might be true. A big part of it is not really true because of the way we are portrayed. Of course, there's a war, there's an ongoing war, basically mostly on Gaza. Like I can say that I live not in a war zone, really. Like I live among racist people, around racism.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, definitely. And you can.
And boy, did it raise its ugly head.
Exactly. So you can definitely understand how we are portrayed in the media and how untrue that could be, And yeah, I lost the point that I was talking about.
Well,
what was that?
We started talking about how you record and what the recording industry is like.
Yeah. So yeah,
like
yes.
the studios. Do you have like a regular studio that you record at? Or?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of really good studios, a lot of really good producers, a lot of, you can get like really great sound in some places. It's really easy to get all of these things. What is really hard is how to push the music industry further, which comes from management and booking agencies and you know, and trying to figure out like, okay, because for me, when I worked on my solo album, I released it in 2017. I finished the master of the songs in 2015. That was done. I spent 2 years just doing everything around it to be able to print it, to be able to pay for what I have to pay, to be able to publish it, to be able to do everything. I spent 2 years, not one song was written in these 2 years. I was just doing, you know, my campaign, my online campaign to like raise money, to raise funding. I was chasing after designers and after this and after that and finding a place to print and everything that involves that. So we're basically musicians that don't have a lot of time to be creative and create music, and
so you need a hub.
Oh yeah,
right? you need a central place.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been going like, it's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger each year. I can say one of the best things that happened to the local Palestinian music industry is PMX. It's the Palestine Music Expo, and it's been happening for 3 years. And so the idea around it is bringing all these amazing musicians. So each year around 20 bands perform live, and they bring people from all over the world from the music industry. And we're talking about big names, we're talking about big labels, big companies, big booking agencies, everything. We're talking like last year Brian Eno was there, and you know, just amazing. This year was 72 delegates from all around the world, and a lot of musicians got signed or started working with different producers and all of that. So it's definitely a very, very important point to reach. And more than that, they're even doing workshops for people that are interested in management or that are interested in, you know, whatever it is, to be able to build the industry more and more and more. And you can see that also not only in music but also in theater. Like at some point we just said, okay, that we cannot take any more funding from the government, of course, because it's always censoring, it's always, you know, you can do this but you cannot do that, it's always cutting the funding. So in the past few years you've been seeing that a lot of independent Palestinian theaters have been opening, independent Palestinian films have been happening, and you know, from arts, from dancing, from music, from galleries, everything. So just, you know, the independent scene is really been growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and I think it's really beautiful, and I really think that I'm very lucky to be able to do music in this time when I feel that it's really, we're building something so big, so important, so beautiful, so energetic, and I'm looking forward to what's coming next, you know.
Wow, what a great place to be in your career, and how exciting. Tell me a little bit more about the project with it's four women.
Yes.
Right. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So that actually happened through PMX as well. It's a festival that happens in Basel, in Switzerland, in Kaserne Basel, and Sandro, an amazing person, he just basically brought us together. So we're two Palestinian women, two Palestinian musicians, me and Rasha Nahas, and one Swiss musician with Palestinian roots, Jasmine El-Bash, also known as the RK, her stage name, and also amazing Dominican rapper. She raps in Spanish, but she's been living most of her life in Switzerland, Jennifer Perez, La Nefera. And so basically what happened is that they gathered us together and they told us, like, we did not know each other before. Like, first time we started working on this project was actually like really the first time that we actually met. And they told us, hey, you have 10 days, create a show. And we're like, okay, like we don't have drums, we don't have bass player, we don't have, you know, we're missing a lot of things. But yeah, hell yeah, let's do this. So we rented a place in Ramallah, a house. We just got all the musical instruments, all the PA, all the, you know, whatever we need. We stayed there in 5 days. In 5 days, I don't know what kind of magic happened, but we were able to create a 50-minute show in just 5 days. And then we went to Basel. We had 5 more days to practice whatever we did. And then we had the show on the 6th day there. And after it was supposed to be just like a one-time show, just a project to see what happens. We finished the show. 2 minutes later, we were in the backstage and talking about, okay, how we can move forward with this. So we just started in October. We already did Switzerland 3 times. We did Berlin. We had a tour in Palestine. We did Canada. We had 3 shows in Canada. And we're gonna be in Switzerland next month, and in Switzerland again in October. And it's been like really, I have no idea how this is happening. We already have like a booking agency in Switzerland, within Switzerland, and working with people in Palestine and all over, and it's been crazy. I have no idea how it's happening, but I'm really, really grateful for that.
I love it when things like that happen. I'm a musician too, and sometimes I'll go for a really long time without writing anything, and then something happens, and it's like I'm a radio tower, and I'm picking up whatever transmission's going through, right? And everything just kind of brilliantly lays out like that. I love it. I love that story. The 5 days.
Yeah, it's really like, I don't have anything to say but magic, you know. I don't know. But it's been wonderful, really.
So, are you staying at the festival? Are you going to see anybody that you want to see?
I really want to see Maysa Gray.
I could shut up right now.
No, it's all good. But I'm gonna at least, watch like 15 minutes, and I'll be totally happy to watch that as well. And yeah, I'm staying and we're leaving back home to Palestine tomorrow. So I have tonight, a little bit tomorrow morning, and then we're going back.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me. It was a brilliant interview. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching the B-side, everybody.
See you.